Okay then guys, this is Discworld, Ankh-Morpork, which is based on the Terry Pratchett Discworld universe. So let's take a look inside and you can see how cool it looks. Okay then, so for those who don't know, this is the city of Ankh-Morpork, which is one of the predominant cities of Terry Pratchett's universe. As you can see, the actual artwork is absolutely stunning. It's a glorious board. The sort of board that you'd like to put behind glass and stick on a wall, as opposed to actually playing with it. It's split up into 12 different districts, which are represented by the faces of a 12-sided die, which come into account when you're doing certain things, which we'll look at later. Components wise, it's very, very nice. There is a limited edition one, but this is the basic version, and you've got lots of nice wooden figures. These are demons, which only come into play at certain times. These are trolls. And then these represent buildings and your minions. Now you start off with minions in 3 locations on the board. And also these, which are trouble markers to represent trouble in the city. Because obviously Ankh-Morpork is full of trickery and deceit and treachery. And finally, you have gold, cool event cards, which can do all sorts of things like earthquakes, which will ruin cities, to fires, or what else have we got? Or subsidence. All players must pay $2 for each building they have, or remove it instead. So these only come up at certain times, but they can greatly change the way the game plays out. Now, by far the most interesting aspect of Ankh-Morpork are these guys. These are the main personalities of the game, and each of them has got a different win objective. So for example, this guy here, he needs to get $50 or more in the form of either buildings he owns or just simple money. This person has to control a certain amount of areas, and you do that by having more icons in that area, more of your figures, than anybody else. Whereas this guy wins the game if there are 8 or more trouble markers in play. So as you can see, finally there's this one who basically the game ends when you run out of cards, which we'll look at in a minute, and no more can be drawn. It's a really clever idea because none of the other players have any idea who's got who. So you have to work out, based on what people are doing, whether they're the ones who are trying to amass large areas of the city, whether they're simply trying to gain the gold, or whether they're simply trying to force people to run through the cards. The only thing that does let it down is that 4 characters are effectively the same. These guys here. And these are all the ones which basically you have to control a certain amount of numbers, and the amount you have to control is the same. So really, I would have preferred it if basically there were 7 different characters with 7 different objectives, but I can appreciate that might have been a bit too tricky. Now you start off with a starting hand of cards. These will normally be in a pile like so, and each turn you can play a card. Now if you look at the card, it's got either flavour text or it's got an actual details that they can do, and at the top of each card, as you can see here, are icons. Now the actual icons all mean different things. So if you look at this sheet, this tells you exactly what they are. So one of them allows you to place a minion down on the board, another allows you to build on the board, one allows you to effectively assassinate someone and you can remove a minion as well as a troublemaker. One of them simply lets you take a trouble marker down. This one requires you to perform whatever text is written on the card. This one gives you money, and you get money based on the numbers shown. This one takes over the random event. This one allows you to basically play another card from your hand. And finally you have an interrupt card, which is only played on an opponent's turn and can do things like stop your minions from being moved. It's a clever idea. And at the end of a turn, if you haven't done so already, you draw back up, so you've got 5 cards. And that effectively is the game in a nutshell. So you each take it in turns to play cards from your hand. You play buildings, place minions, earn gold. You can earn additional gold from buying cities. And these collected, they have a gold cost, and obviously the other number that shows you what district they're from. And whoever obtains their objective wins the game. It's a fairly fast-paced game. Typically, you can normally finish it in around 3/4 of an hour, which is pretty good fun. The quality of the components is really nice. There's a fair few to pop out as well, which I love. The artwork on the cards is absolutely superb, and even if you don't enjoy the actual Discworld books or the TV shows that have started coming out, it doesn't matter, because the actual game itself plays really well without him. Obviously, you will gain a huge benefit if you are well aware of the universe, because you can just picture things as they're played, and it almost feels like a little novel as you're playing it, which is really clever. But ultimately, it's just a fantastic little game. So this is Terry Pratchett's Discworld Ankh-Morpork. It's created by Martin Wallace, who's got more than enough decent games under his belt, and it's available now. You can either buy it from your usual board game retailer, or you can buy it directly from the developers, which is Tree Frog Games. There's the gorgeous instruction book. And even if you're not a fan of Terry Pratchett or the Discworld universe, give this game a try, because you will not be disappointed in the slightest. This is Darren Jones from Gaming Unplugged UK, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Take care, guys. Bye.